Let's start with the Boilermakers in their game against Tennessee in the round of 16. Pick it up in the second half. Purdue up by 16. It looked like this was going to be a rout. Ryan Klein puts them up by 18. Game over, right? Wrong. Back comes Tennessee, down by 1. Admiral Schofield volunteers up 2 after being down 18. But Klein was just marvelous. 7 of 10 from 3, a career high 27. That one tied it at 80. And then down 2, Carsen Edwards fouled shooting the 3. He split the first 2 free throws, needs this one to tie the game, and he hits it. We go to overtime. In the OT, Purdue on top, 87-84. Edwards through the lane, laying it in. He had 29. Boilermakers up by 5. And then Purdue pulling away. Grady Eifert to Matt Harms, who throws down the jam, and the Boilers, in a topsy-turvy, up-and-down game, end up winning it 99-94, their third most points ever in an NCAA tourney game, and their most since 1988, as they advance to the Elite Eight for the first time since 2000. Again, Klein was the hero. He was just fantastic. A career high in this game. The Boilers get the win. They are 1 win away from their first Final Four since 1980. The victorious coach, Matt Painter, chatting with Rob Blackman.
All right, thank you, Coach Painter. Wow, what a game. I'll just start with that statement.
Yeah, it was unbelievable to look at that box score and see both teams shoot 50% from the line, both teams shoot 50% from 3. We out-rebounded them, and I don't know what game they were watching because I didn't feel like we out-rebounded them. They're a tough team. They have a mental and physical toughness. Rick Barnes is a hell of a coach, and we knew this was going to be a dogfight. You just knew when you got up 17, 18 points, they're going to come climbing back into the game. We made some plays there at the end of regulation to kind of survive. I think it was just a relief getting into overtime, and then we kind of picked up some energy, made a couple plays, and then made enough free throws down the stretch to secure the win.
You talk about making plays in regulation. Ryan Klein made every big shot he had to make, I felt, for you guys. He made 4 threes in the final 5 minutes, and you needed all 4 of them.
Yeah, no question. Even a couple of those where, we generated a couple for him through what we were running. But, he made a couple individual plays where the one time looked like he, changed his mind about 4 different times when he was crossing over Grant Williams and kind of getting him, on his heels a little bit. But, he made some tough shots. And that's the way he was in high school. Like, he would make those shots in high school and at timely times, and he really got on a roll today. And, just happy for him.
First time getting back to the Elite Eight since 2000, I heard. And, I'm happy for myself. I'm happy for my guys. I'm happy for Coach Paint. And, it's just something that we definitely worked, really hard. And a lot of people counted us out at the beginning of the year. I just keep preaching that. And, we're just going out and playing free.
A lot of people did count them out, and maybe counted them out late in this game, too, after Tennessee had mounted the huge comeback. But the Boilermakers do advance there among the final 8 teams standing for just the 5th time ever. One of them back in 1969 before the seeding started. 1980 again was the last Final Four, so they won the first 2 times they were in the Final 8, have lost the last 2. We'll see whether they can reverse that trend and get back into the Final Four. But, Sean, what a game. I mean, the ebbs and flows. Klein was just incredible in this game. Edwards came up with some big shots. Really a remarkable showing.
Yeah, Ryan Klein, let's not forget, in the opening round game versus Old Dominion, Ryan Klein went 1 of 11 from 3-point range. They were still able to win that ball game because they held the Monarchs to 26% shooting. They really clamped down on Tennessee in the first half of this ball game on the defensive end of the floor. But Dave, Ryan Klein was even more noticeable for periods of time when he was not in the ballgame. During that highlight rip, we showed the fact that Purdue was able to get out to an 18-point lead in the second half. Then Klein got his 4th foul, went to the bench, and that really precipitated a big run by the Tennessee Volunteers. But it was Ryan Klein's willingness and ability to hit some timely threes most of them contested. He goes 7 of 10 from deep. He and Edwards combined to go 50% from behind the arc. They get just enough because they didn't do a great job of shooting free throws. Obviously, even Carsen Edwards, 85%, goes only 8 of 14, but they're able to get enough shots and enough key plays coming out of timeouts. They used Edwards as a decoy a couple of times, one which allowed Harms to slip to the rim and get a basket, and then Edwards kind of lulled him into sleep and went to the rim when he needed to. But just an unbelievable performance by Ryan Cline when they needed him most. A gutsy win by Purdue because it looked like this was going to be a reverse game for Tennessee.
Yep.
Remember, the Volunteers had Iowa down 25, and it looked like Purdue was going to play the role of Iowa in this ball game.
It's remarkable. I mean, you think about a team that shoots 48% from three-point range and 48% from the free throw line. I mean, it was just a game of statistical oddities. Purdue's now hit 40 of 91 threes, so 43 so far in the first 3 games of the NCAA tournament. They're just the 3rd team ever to hit 40 in their first 3 games. Villanova did it last year, and then Tennessee did it back in 2000.